Hello, and welcome to another Blue Chip Monday live stream with me, Bitcoin J. I hope that you can all hear me on YouTube. I'm just gonna have a quick check whether everybody can hear me both in the Discord and in YouTube, and then we will kick it off with some trade setups that we have going into next week for some blue chip stocks. So I'm just gonna check whether the audio is right, and then we get this started. Can you guys in the Discord give me can you guys in the Discord tell me in the chat whether you can hear me or not, please? That would be extremely helpful. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so the audio should be good. It's always a little bit of a stressful situation with YouTube and StreamYard, but here we go. So welcome once again to my Blue Chip Monday stream. You guys know that usually the way that I like to start off these streams is by looking at the SPY and looking at the Dixie. We will do that today like we always do that. However, there's one setup here that I immediately want to share with you guys because I know, of course, you're tuning in because you wanna see some trade setups here. So one ticker that is catching my attention here is the Kellogg company. So I'm looking here on the daily time frame for Kellogg, and what I see is a potential setup coming up this week. So we have a high here for Kellogg at around $77, 76.99. That is our swing high. We came down and we created a swing low here at $69. So essentially we're trading in this range between $77 to the upside and $69 to the downside. Now, I'm always using my Fibonacci retracement tool because what we are doing right now is we are actually retracing back to the high that we've created at that $76.99. Now, if we take a look here at what is going on for Kellogg, you can clearly see that we are currently rejecting off the 61.8% retracement to that high from this low, which is around $73.93. So immediately what I'm interested to doing here is I want to see a break of $74 for Kellogg. And once we break that, I am pretty confident in going long here actually. I think this is setting up pretty nicely here. Why? Because we have basically been uptrending for a while here on the daily time frame. We have a low, we have a high, we have a higher low, we still have a higher high, and again we're holding that higher low. So essentially just playing the trend here, looking for a good entry and playing this trend. I think if we can break $74 here for Kellogg, that's basically a trade that I'm willing to take. I'm willing to long that. I think we have very heavy resistance there, and you can clearly see that on the daily wicks here and here and here and again here. So it's very obvious that $74 for Kellogg is a big resistance. As soon as we can break that, I'm willing to go long. Now, you can wait for a daily candle close above it. For me personally, I'm already convinced to just long a break above $74 once we get above it. I think we have hit that resistance already many times. The more times you hit a certain resistance, the more likely it becomes that it is going to break. So keep this on your radar. I think if we can break the 61.8% retracement to this high, it is very likely that we will actually go ahead and retrace to this high and actually continue our uptrend here for Kellogg. Just very simply playing this uptrend, we have the low, the high, the higher low, the higher high, again, a higher low. And once we get above $74, I'm pretty convinced that this can actually uptrend a little bit more. What are the targets that I'm personally looking for? First take profit level would be around the previous high, the previous swing high. You would always have to take profit at the previous swing high. Why? Because it's resistance and you have no guarantees that it's actually going to break. So first take profit level, once we long it above $74, would be a little bit under $77, just really making sure to close some of your position as that swing high. Once we break, however, $77 for Kellogg, you will be in impulsive targets to the upside. First target is $79.25. Second target is $82.21. So a really good long setup for Kellogg is longing it above $74, longing it to 77, so above 74 to 77, 79, and 82 with a stop loss. It's a trader's choice. I'm personally going to set it a little bit under this 0.382 fib level at around $72. So essentially risking $2 a share and looking to gain at least 3 to 5 to even more to $82 here. So that's the first thing that I'm looking for. I really just wanted to share this setup with you all straight off the bat. I know that you're here for that. Now, if we do lose the $69, however, then it will be a very good shorting opportunity. I know that many people here are just focused on longs, so that's why I start off with the long setup. The long setup is above $74. However, if I clear my chart here, the bearish scenario for this sticker is simply that we're in a big head and shoulders. So you can clearly see this is our trend line right now. Once we lose this low, this is a key low for Kellogg right now at $69. Once we lose that $69, we will basically come back to 66 and lower. I'm just going to ask everybody on Discord to mute themselves. Let me just make sure to mute the people on Discord. Okay, mute. Okay, so that's what I have for Kellogg in terms of long setups. Above $74, you lose $69, you will be in downside targets to at least $66, and then very likely a retracement to $59. However, I am pretty bullish here short term on the markets. There's no guarantees, of course, in trading. The quicker that you understand that there's no guarantees in trading, the better off you will be. But this is the setup that I have going on for Kellogg. So taking it to another ticker here, let's take it back to Apple here, because this is, of course, the king of all blue chips, I would say. This is one of the strongest stocks in the market. This one is also coming down to very interesting levels. For Apple, we have a very interesting high here at 176, and we have this previous swing low at 129. So if we take our fib retracement tool from this high to that low, we're basically hanging around the 78.6 retracement here. I would say for Apple, if you can see also a break back above 145.35, this is also something that I'm personally willing to long. Not quite yet. I need to see a regain of the 61.8% retracement at 145. But once we break back above 145, I think Apple would be a good long setup. Very simple, longing it to 150, 155, and 160 with a simple stop loss around 141. So that's another setup that I have. Really, the key for me is always playing with the swing low, playing with the swing high, looking at the 61.8% retracement. If you're under it, it's a bearish statement, and then I just keep my hands off longs, and I'm looking at a retest of the previous swing low and the downside targets here. However, if we can break and get back above the 61.8% retracement for Apple above 145.35, I would say it's a good longing opportunity to 150, 155, 160 with a stop loss at 141. So that's what I have for Apple here for a potential trade setup this week. Keep that 145.35 level on your radar. Of course, if you're in the Discord, I will, of course, update you and tell you when it is time to go long. But this is what I'm looking for right now. I think that we have retraced pretty deeply to our previous swing low. I also think that Apple is definitely a massively strong stock. And a regain of 145 would be an extremely bullish statement in the short term. Obviously, if you long this here, and I also see other analysts in the Discord say this, it is really a take profit market. So if you long it at 145 and you see it run to 150 and 155 and 160, just take profit. Don't necessarily assume that we're going to break that previous high here, because still a lot of the macro environment is pretty bearish, pretty negative. But I do think that we will have some good long setups here for the blue chip stocks in the next coming week. So that's what I have for Kellogg. That's what I have for Apple. Another blue chip stock that we always take a look at every week, of course, is Google. I still have my TA on it from last week. We're basically also at a very interesting level here for Google. We're hanging above this 1272 level at $97.13. For Google, a setup that I can give you is basically, this has been still on my chart from last week. I'm looking for Google for a regain of the level at $102.21. Now, why is that? Because we have basically been trading in a range for Google. We had a swing low, and it was also a yearly low at $102. And from that $102, we actually rallied to 123. We have lost that swing low, and we have basically are creating a reversal wave with targets to the 1272 and the 1618 at $97 approximately and at $91. We can clearly see that Google is actually holding this $97 pretty damn well. If you see that Google drops below $97, put some bids in at $91, because that is essentially the 1618 target of this reversal wave from this swing low to this swing high. The $91 is the golden ratio. So if you see Google lose $97, I would say put some bids in for Google around $91, put a stop loss just maybe at $88, and try to ride it up to 97 and to 100 and to above 100. However, again, a bullish statement for Google would be reclaiming that previous swing low at $102.21. Once we get back above this, I'm pretty convinced, and it's not about I'm convinced, it's likely that this price action here is just a little bit of a deviation under this range. And once you get back in this range, which is basically a range created between 102 and 123, I will probably go long on the regain of $102. I'm going to put my stop loss at $97 here, because we are holding that support. And once that support breaks, I want to be out. So that would be a $5 risk per share. But I'm essentially looking back to longing this to the upside of this range to $123, with probably a take profit target in between there at around 109.75, because that is the 61.8% retracement that we had to this swing low from this swing high. So the trade setup for Google would be long a regain of $102, stop loss at around $97, because that is the low. If you break that low, you're in an impulsive target to the 1618 to $91, and you don't want to hold it to $91. You would rather get out and get back in at $91 and take profit at around $109, $110. Next take profit is really just the upside of this range that we have for Google. So really a reclaim of this previous yearly low for Google at around $102.21 to me would be a very bullish statement. A reclaim, what do I mean with that? I don't mean just wicking above it and closing immediately below. What I would like to see is at least a 4-hour candle close above the level of $102. So if that 4-hour candle close, maybe you wait a little bit longer and you don't just long $102, you can long 103 or 104, because that gives you a little bit more confirmation that yes, indeed, you are coming back in this previous range that we had for Google, and really that would be a good long setup here. So we've been pretty bearish on the markets for a while now, and I think personally that we are looking to set up for a little bit of a relief rally, a little bit of a bounce. I think bears have had a very easy time for a long time now, and there's definitely some good longing setups that I can share with you. So we've had a long setup on Kellogg, we've had one on Apple, and this is what I'm looking for on Google. So let's see if we can put in another one here. We have had Apple, we've had Google, we've had Kellogg. I can go over NVIDIA here too, because this is really a pretty battered stock. that we often play here in the Discord. For NVIDIA, what is important was this previous low at 140 and this previous high at 192. And for NVIDIA, we were basically retracing back from this previous swing high to this swing low, and we are basically losing all kinds of support right now. We have lost this 1272, we have lost this 1618. So if I want to see what is my next target to the downside, I will simply add in the 2 FIB, which comes around $102.53. So for NVIDIA, I'm personally less short-term bullish than I am on Apple, Google, and Kellogg. I think these 3 stocks that we've went over earlier are safer things to get in than NVIDIA right now. There's a lot of like news coming out in the chip sector is basically getting battered a little bit. I think what I want to see for NVIDIA is either we come down lower and we try to get a bounce at around $102.50. Again, I'm not going to place just a blind order here at $102.50. I want to see a reaction. So what I'm specifically looking forward here for NVIDIA would be that we come down to that 102.50 kind of area. We might wick below that, maybe get some liquidity out under $100, but on the reclaim of $102.50, that's where I would go long, and I would shoot for, again, 115, 128, and 140. So this is short term what I see for NVIDIA. If we do get back above this 116 here, I would also consider longing that with a stop loss simply on the low that we had here at 108. So if we can reclaim $116 for NVIDIA, I would probably be inclined to long it with a stop loss around 108 and basically shooting back for 120, 128, and 140 in the near term. So those are just some setups that I wanted to give you all on some of the blue chip stocks that are on my radar. Again, it's Kellogg's, Apple, Google, and this is NVIDIA. So I hope that you can, that this kind of makes sense to you, that this TA makes some sense. And we'll all play this together in the Discord, of course, and I will update you when it is time to go. If you're not in the Discord already, I would say come join that to get instant notifications about when we are going long. And if you're in the Discord already, obviously you know me, and we will play this together as we approach the next week. I am short-term bullish. I think that we've had a lot of sell-offs, and I think it's time that we basically send all of the markets a little bit higher. Again, I'm not saying that we will immediately go back to all-time highs and we're going to crush resistance from here, but I think we're definitely in a spot where it makes sense to look at longs more so than it makes sense to keep looking at shorts. So that's what I have here for today. I'm going to end the YouTube stream and I'm going to stay here on Discord, and I'm going to be around to answer questions. So thanks for watching on YouTube, and I'll stay around in the Discord for a little bit longer.